DJM TV. Welcome to DJM TV News Update for the week. I am Umar Latifa. And if you're watching us for the first time, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at DJM TV and also click on the notification bell for more superb videos. DJM TV.
Without serious infrastructure, it's going to be very difficult to attract any serious industry or business to our state. And then, of course, our people too must be trained and retrained to make them have the necessary skills to compete at any level. So the agenda has been well thought out. And, you know, in terms of implementation, of course, we will be looking at funds. The state is blessed. I just believe that our monies have not been prudently utilized in the past. So this time we intend to set up an economic management team that would ensure that the monies of the state are well utilized. In terms of immediate implementation, it depends on what we have in the coffers of the state. If our state is not in the red, then there are so many things we can jumpstart and begin to do. If, however, we find out that our state is in the red, there's nothing wrong in assessing the capital market to see how we can get some short-term facility to be able to kickstart what we want to do. But we sincerely believe that by the time we begin to implement our programs, the fortunes of our state will change. By the time people see our sincerity, they see our focus and our priorities, we also believe that so many donor agencies and you know, so many people will be willing to come to our aid and to assist our state. So we are not too much afraid about how well we implement our projects. We just want to win first, get in, and then you will see serious implementation of the agenda we have set for ourselves.
Thank you very much, Pastor Isayamo. And this is just to inform our viewers that all is set for both candidates to join us. And we are expecting the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, the incumbent governor of Edo State, Governor Godwin Obaseki, to join this conversation. We are hoping that he will join us any moment from now. Back to you, Pastor Isayamo. One of the agendas you have to tackle is unemployment in Edo State. According to the latest statistics from the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, in Q2, that's Q2 for the year, the unemployment rate in Edo State currently stands at 19%, while underemployment rate was put at 34.9%. What is your plan to create an enabling environment for industrialization and SMEs to triumph in the state?
Well, thank you. I haven't believed that the statistics are worse. The statistics you have right now is based on the data that was received, and mainly from Edo State government. But I've told people in other fora that most of those statistics are wrong. The bogus claim that 151,000 jobs have been created is not true. You know, so the unemployment rate is a lot higher. To be able to reverse the trend, we believe that with a simple agenda, a lot of things will change. For example, by the time we make our state more secured, a lot of businesses are going to come. The existing ones are going to expand and increase their scope, and that would help a lot in creating more jobs. The security aspect of our simple agenda is also intended to get many of our young ones employed. We intend to do community policing, whereby we would identify the local vigilante groups all over the state, reorganize them, make them more functional, and ensure that on a monthly basis we pay them some stipend. They cannot be keeping our state safe and complementing the police, and we just ignore them and pretend they don't exist. We can no longer leave the burden of looking after them to the communities who are becoming impoverished by even government activities. So the security side is going to create jobs. Infrastructure, we also intend to invest a lot of money on infrastructure, and our policy will be geared towards empowering our local people. That means we intend to put more money in the system that will benefit local businesses, ensure that whatever we are doing, they get involved, which means our local businesses will now see the need to even employ more people within the system. So in terms of infrastructure, we believe that that itself could also create jobs. And then manpower development. By the time we teach our people relevant skills, they might not even need to look for government jobs. They'll be able to be self-employed. The skill acquisition centers in the state, we intend to re-equip them and make them more functional so that we can train our people in different areas of skills and ensure that we also support them to be able to do businesses. Agriculture is one big area that we believe that if we do proper investment and support our people, so many thousands would actually be employed. Of course, you know that we are quite strong in so many crops. So by the time we begin to actually support these farmers with cash incentive, crop incentive, technical incentive, many people will be inclined to come into agriculture. Another thing that has been a big problem is the state of our rural areas. So we intend to deliberately improve on those places, create the necessities of life, ensure that those rural areas are accessible, so do the roads to take them there, make sure that we have electricity, ensure that there's water, put schools and put hospitals. By the time you do that, you would even find an urban to rural drift. You know, people moving to the rural areas where they can farm. And of course, in all those farms, we are going to also look at the possibility of creating agro-industries. So it's going to be a full chain, and the real beneficiaries will be our people. So in every area we are going to be working on, we are going to be intending to create jobs. And of course, the last thing in the simple agenda is employment. For example, we don't have teachers in our state. We intend to massively invest in teachers. We intend to employ them because you can't have any functional education without teachers. In the same case, the healthcare facilities don't have doctors, they don't have nurses. So we lack healthcare personnel. Again, we intend to employ many of them. So in many areas, we just believe that, you know, we cannot, in trying to keep the personnel cost low in our state, will now deprive our people of fundamental services. So areas where we need to employ, we are going to employ. And by the time we engage the private sector in serious businesses, we think that they on their own too will bring in so many jobs. So we're optimistic that in the next 4 years, a lot of jobs will come into our state and our youth will be gainfully employed.
Well, it's good, Pastor Ize-Iyamu, that you already mentioned agriculture. And agriculture is one area in which Edo State has a comparative advantage, particularly in the area of food production, rubber, and oil palm plantations. Now, you've talked about a number of things you will do. Could you tell us in specific terms how you intend to explore that value chain in the agriculture sector and what you will prioritize? Is it palm? Is it rubber? And in which specific parts of the state? But we'll take a short break, I guess, at this point. And when we return, Pastor Ize-Iyamu, you have the opportunity to talk further on agriculture. Welcome back to the morning show here on the Arise News channel. You are still watching the special edition of this program focusing on the Edo governorship election, and we're having a conversation with the two main candidates of the leading political parties, Governor Godwin Obaseki and the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Pastor Ize-Iyamu. We're still hoping that Governor Obaseki will join us in the course of this conversation. You can see we've been running adverts provided by his campaign organization, and the Arise crew is right there in Benin at his residence. We're hoping that he will join us. But back to you, Pastor Ize-Iyamu. I'd asked you a question about the need to be more specific in terms of what you intend to do within the agricultural value chain in Edo State. Just for you to be more specific in terms of priorities and processes.
Yeah, thank you very much. We intend to leverage on what we have, which unfortunately we've not really taken advantage of. For example, our people are quite strong in rice cultivation. The Ekpoma axis in Edo Central, the Ilushi axis in Esan Southeast, the Anegbete axis in Isako Central, in the Edo North, are areas where it's very suitable for rice production. And all these things influenced Leventis many years ago to set up the rice farm in Agenebude. So we intend to resuscitate these schemes and ensure that we make the best of it. Now that government has more or less placed a ban on imported rice, we have the opportunity to make our rice farmers to flourish. Unfortunately, while other state governments have been able to access funds for their farmers in this area, Kebbi, Ebonyi, etc., we have not been able to do so. So we need to be able to get funds for our local farmers, give them the technical support that they need, provide the equipment that they cannot procure, and begin to cultivate rice massively, because our people consume rice on a daily basis. Another area where we will look at is in terms of oil palm production, which in the past was a very big issue here. But thank God again, we still have major companies here. You have Presco, you have Okomo, and the rest of them. But I know too that only recently, the state government was able to get from the CBN 69 billion for an oil palm initiative, a program to expand the scope of oil palm production. Unfortunately, the lack of transparency in government has not made it possible for us to even assess who are the beneficiaries of this huge loan from the CBN. That, if well utilized, would have, increased the scope of oil palm production and, of course, brought in a lot of revenue. Again, we were very strong in rubber, and the Urunigbe
DJM TV.
APC DJM for governor. I already know. Okay, I will speak more Benin, I will speak more English. But only can work for me. You know, I don't know. You have a bow at the middle of wọ́n bẹ ní yín ní bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ àwọn èrè ẹ̀rọ wà. Èmi àná ọ̀dà wà èrè ọ̀nà ẹ̀bọ́dọ̀ kí n máa ń wà ẹ̀bọ́ pàyà mẹ́wàá èrè wà. Ọmọ ló wà o. Ọ̀gá máa ní máa. Ọ̀gá fi máa gbé rẹ̀ lọ. Èmi Jésù ló dé ní àdúgbò. Àràdélé máa ní máa. Ọ̀gá máa ní máa yá. Ọ̀gá máa ní máa. Ọ̀gá fi máa gbé rẹ̀ o. Èmi Jésù ló dé ní màtúntì. Ọ̀gá délé máa ní máa. Èmi wọ́n ò fẹ́ kí èsè yá. By the grace of God, my candidate for APC. Everybody, but you want. And I'm making a go. The governor, only the only you are wrong. Because my name is Waiba. Èmi kékeré ló ké náà wẹ̀ wẹ̀ wá ni. Ẹ wò pẹ̀rọ, ìsúrọ̀, òdèrọ̀, ẹ̀kírọ̀, ẹ̀kíwérọ̀, ẹ̀fẹ̀tẹ̀rọ̀, ìtànsọ́mọ ẹ̀rẹ̀ mi ẹ̀rọ, so ọmọ ọlọ́mọ mẹ́tì ìwé mi ló ké náà wù. Wọ́n ní orí màá fi tẹ̀gbẹ́ ìmọ̀ ìwà ni. Àmì fi tẹ̀gbẹ́ ìmọ̀ ìwà. Ọ̀nà tí ó sàlógun wa. Ẹtú sọ̀rọ̀ bọ̀ èmi náà èmi yàgò lọ́tà náà ìmọ̀ àwẹ̀ níwà. Ọ̀rí mẹ́ ẹ̀yẹ́ náà wáyé mu ta igbó ẹ̀yẹ èdè ní tiẹ̀ simple agenda èmi máa ń rú ìyára ní ọba wíwá gbòòrò yìí ní. Ìmọ̀ náà ní àmì gbọ̀ngbọ̀n wọn priority lọ́rẹ́ máa ń kó ẹtú sọ̀rọ̀ bọ̀ ó kó ní ìmọ̀ àwẹ̀. Àpòbọ́ lè dún wá. Listen, how can a transformer anything we develop of it? There's so person, and I am back for that 2 years. Where the problem? I worry, I'm a amigo at the level. The government can't pay. I worry. Didn't go no dinner with 4.5 million. How much they go? Let them have. Or what they pay you? Let's see. You know, Meneda Yoba, you know, the auntie, you know, you know, the family. I'm talking about do. If you not come away, just take it from me. Because elections will tell you. But, yes, anything that concerns the family, I will know. Health center in Europe. How are you? Èmi á promise wáyé àti ìyè ìwàgbọ́n àgbèlè ní èmi wọ́n ṣe ìyá mi ọ̀rùkú. Ìnà ta ìdí ọwọ́ ẹ. Àríjìmá ìmọ̀ àdó sọ́pọ̀tì yẹn. Àwẹ̀ ìwé àwẹ̀ àríjìmá ìwé òwò ayé àdúrókì ní àdé ìwàgbọ́. Sọ̀wọ́lá wàtàmímọ́yà akáwù ní ọbaṣẹ́kì. Àmọ́ mi wò lọ́wọ́. Ẹ̀sọ́ ọ̀nà àmàmí ẹ̀. Èrì ni ẹ̀gbẹ́ tá mẹ́wò. Ọ̀rẹ́ àtìpá àti gbogbo yìí. Ní ayá dẹ́rù. Èkó mi ní problem. Dídí wọ́n lọ́mọ yìí yèrè. Dídí wọ́n máa yèrè pé 4,000, 5,000. Ọ̀nà ìfọwọ́ wá pay well for 4 years yẹn. So àríwá ni rè wọ́n ní ẹ̀yẹ kò. But I'm telling you, ẹ̀wọ̀n kan ẹ̀rọ on the right, mo yá àgbẹ̀ níbi àfitì ẹ̀. Wọ́n máa fò tó ìbọn ìbọn tó báyìí, wọ́n ní ìbọn yọ. Wà á mi umbrella, who will go for big party. Wà á yìí mi ó wẹ́ ọ̀nà mi á lò ó, tí a fi lé ìwé lò. Wà á wọ́n ní wà á mi ìrìnà ọ̀dẹ̀rẹ̀. Na people from Bana, thank you, na God dey bless you. Because una don take for rain, I go leave message for all of you. Before you know, you know, stop wetin I talk. No understand. You do understand. You do understand. I say the governor wey dey now 4 years una see wetin he do for this area. He do road, he bring employment, even the health center he do am well. Schools sef, many schools we go, teachers no be. Light ordinary to change transformer, he change am. So wetin no good, dem go continue. I tell them say they don try 4 years he fail, he cannot repeat, he cannot come back, he must leave. Make man of God come. First way dey fear God. Now wetin you go promise, you know, shame no go allow talk no go do am. And everything you have promised, I like am now. Yes, and by the grace of God I go do am. I get simple agenda, talk about road, we go do road for this place. From here to Gelegele, we do the town well, we go do the road. And all these side jobs we go do them by the grace of God. Other people una work, una want market, una want like say we go do all of them. The night come and say before Christmas, all this place like we do. I get program to support women. We find out say our women dey very hard work. If you give a young woman 10,000, if you come back, you don multiply to 20,000. Because of that one, you want to put money for our hand. How una take the treat? Because if e good for una, e good for our family. And if e good for your family, e good for Edo State. So abeg, make una tell all una people. They say they want to buy your vote. How much they wan pay you? 3,000, 4,000, even 5,000. For 4 years. But you know wetin? Chop the money na government money. Chop am. But when you wan vote, you cover am. Make dem no see am. When you go see umbrella, you go say God for big party. When you go say proof, you say red. Huh? Now, I wan see how many of una be Christians for here? I wan sing one song, Christian song. Huh? Yahweh, your name is Yahweh. You are a miracle working God. Your name is Yahweh. Yahweh, Yahweh. Yahweh. Your name is Yahweh. You are a miracle working God. Your name is Yahweh. Miracle worker. You are a miracle worker. Come on, do your miracle, a miracle today. Come on, do your miracle, a miracle today. Yahweh, Yahweh, your name is Yahweh. You are a miracle working God. Your name is Yahweh. Governorship changer. You are a governorship changer. Come and change Obaseki, Obaseki Mogo. Come and change Obaseki, Obaseki Mogo. Yahweh, Yahweh, your name is Yahweh. You are a miracle working God. Your name is Yahweh. Governorship changer. You are a governorship changer. Come and change Obaseki, Obaseki Mogo. Come and change Obaseki, Obaseki Mogo. Yahweh, Yahweh, your name is Yahweh. You are a miracle working God. Your name is Yahweh. We know, we know, we know, we know. But all of that you win, you will win. I am a winner in thy Lord Jesus. I am a winner in my Lord Jesus. I am a winner in the Lord. APC, Yabu for governor. APC, Yabu for governor. So then today we dey close our campaign. I want to thank you well. But this one is the last one, and I thank God for our patience. I will give them 1 million leadership for me.
DJM TV. DJM TV.